Welcome to Dental Business RX. Practice success in 30 minutes or less.
Thank you for calling ABC Dental.
The world of dental marketing, especially digital marketing, is changing really fast, especially with the introduction of artificial intelligence. Now, the good thing about rapid change is it offers up a bunch of new options or paths to take to market your practice. And the bad thing about rapid change is that it offers up a bunch of new options or paths to take to market your practice, meaning there's so many marketing paths or ideas that it's hard to decide what's the best route to take. But don't worry about it, dear listener. I have your back on this one. But once a year, I bring in Mr. Dan Brown from Bloomberg Digital. There's a relation, but I don't own the company, just to be clear. I'll bring him on the podcast to cover what marketing is going to look like for the coming year, as well as what the future beyond the next year holds. And, well, it's that time again. Now, if you don't know Dan is the Chief Operating Officer at Bloomberg Digital, is an incredibly knowledgeable expert on the subject of marketing, especially digital marketing, and in my opinion, the most knowledgeable voice in digital marketing in the dental space. As I mentioned, he's the COO of Bloomberg Digital, as well as a senior consultant and speaker here at MGE. And for this episode, we'll be interviewing Dan on what you should be doing to market your practice in 2026. So, Dan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, it's great to have you back. It's been a while since you've been on, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so let's just jump right in, right?
Sure.
So that was pretty quick, wasn't it? No, how are you? No, I mean, I see Dan every day. But, all right, so let's start off, and I want to keep this actionable
Sure.
for the listeners, something they can do, right?
Sure.
So what is working in 2025?
Yeah, great question. Okay, so what's working is really the same thing that's been working in the past, just with some modifications. And I know that sounds plain and
I was expecting something exciting.
well, there are some exciting
Dude,
things.
you're making your website all red. I mean, I don't know.
Wish it was that simple.
Yeah.
Really, what's happening is the landscape in digital marketing is I'd say the biggest thing that people need to think with is it's more competitive than ever.
Okay.
So what does that mean? That means there's more people doing it that haven't been doing it. The semi-retired dentist down the street who didn't really know what the interweb was has now somehow bumped into someone, and that person is doing Google ads. That individual is now getting Google reviews because he's got a great team that knows the importance of it, and they're doing it. Just maybe he doesn't even know it's being done. So it's gotten more. I hate to use the word competitive because I don't view other dental practices, for at least the Bloomberg Digital clients, as competitors. I really think that the fight is with the ignorance of patients and what they don't know about healthy teeth and gums and such. I think there's always going to be plenty of patients for practices.
Yeah, not enough people see the dentist in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but that said, when somebody goes looking for a dentist, they're changing a dentist. They just moved to the town, or they're looking for a skill set that is outside of what their existing practice has, an implant or Invisalign or clear aligner therapy or whatever. And they start searching, the game is on. And it is more competitive and more difficult today than it's ever been. And you think, well, that's kind of a natural evolution of things. But let's say on a Google ad strategy, you'd have a $500 budget 3 years ago.
All right.
And that was bringing you something. Mm-hmm. Not today. Not today. That doesn't even get you registered on the page sometimes. And you're sitting there competing with people who are, sitting with a budget of $2,000, and it's good. So if you're going to throw your budget up to $2,000, you're going to sit level with them. And what we do is we do an actual analysis of all of our clients and their competitive offerings and how busy is it in their area and such. But I just give you that as a simple example.
Sure.
So what's working? Doing more, being louder than you were last year.
And because I'd heard that the price per click especially started to go up after 2020.
It's crazy.
But then, I mean, so what were people paying, let's say, if you recall, in 2019? For what's the average, if I'm doing a paid ad on a page, what was the average I was paying per click?
Okay. $11. Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I know it depends on the market, too.
Yeah, but just as an average.
Okay.
10, 11, $12 to be in position number one, $7 to be position number two. Today, $21.
Wow.
$19, $24. And then when you talk about pay-per-click for some of these very competitive, very difficult terms like implant, dental implant. I mean, I don't even want to say the number because it'll make most people throw
What
up
is
in
it?
their own mouth. I mean,
Okay, tell us, Dan.
it's,
Now you're talking, and just to be clear, we're talking about if I want to be the number one guy on the page.
that's right.
Okay.
And you, just to get the click, this does not get you a phone call.
Sure.
This gets you a visit, hopefully to your landing page. Please, if you're doing Google Ads, do not send them to your website. Please, please, please. So just to get them to your landing page with a click can be over $90
Wow, for a click.
for a click.
Wow.
So, what I do appreciate with Google is that they've got different analytics in place now and algorithms so that if you got a competitor that's, aggressively clicking your ads.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, that doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still expensive. So you've got to have what's working is be prepared to increase your budget. Be prepared to find a provider that's talented. You really got to work to find somebody who knows what they're doing. You and I were having a conversation the other day. You were running the ads for MGE back in the day for Facebook.
Oh, yeah, when we started in 13, it was me and our marketing director, Adam,
Right.
because it was made to where anybody could do it.
Yeah, and anybody could.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it took a little bit of know-how.
Because my marketing knowledge is more top, high level, like this is the campaign, but
Yeah.
getting down to it was, getting to the trenches of how we're going to do digital. I have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Today, I mean, I know a lot about it. I would never do my own ad
Wow.
strategy.
Okay.
Just, the specialists that we have, they're making 220 to 260 adjustments a month.
Wow.
I mean, and these are very competent, high level, I call them, marketing geeks that are looking at, doing an A/B test, two different versions of the same ad, splitting that up and doing that, a whole series of points that I don't want to get into too technically here, but there's just a lot of things going on, and that's just to stay competitive.
All right, so the era of doing your own PPC is probably gone for the most part.
I would say for the most part, I know some people still do it, and some people do it with success. They throw up, a Google campaign. They said they've been contacted by Google. I highly doubt that. They've probably been contacted by somebody who's an authorized Google provider, which is anybody who's a marketing company. And I know it's
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they position themselves, and they've given that person $500 or $700, and they get a patient or two. And I'd say that's better than nothing.
Sure.
But if you are in a place where there are a number of practices that are advertising on Google, or it's a very progressive area, get a high level strategist, get prepared with the budget. So that's working.
Okay.
That's one thing.
Got it. So that's working, but we're having to spend more.
Having to spend more.
What's an interesting point, because if I'm spending double, because also postage has almost doubled since 2019.
Yeah.
Was 40 something for a first class stamp. Now it's 74 cents, 3 cents, whatever. So if I'm spending that much more, my fees have to reflect that. So
right.
if I'm a big in-network practice and I'm driving people in at $800 a crown and I'm spending twice as much to get that patient, that's a problem.
It's a big problem. And
Yeah.
it's so funny to me how practice owners, they'll work with the increases of the pay for their employees and cost of supplies and cost of marketing. And they're not happy about it, but they do it. But sometimes when we tap on the shoulder of our clients and say, now, what about your fees? Have you
Right.
adjusted your fees? Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more your realm from an MGE perspective.
Sure.
I know.
I mean, I've been banging the drum pretty hard for that for
Yeah,
a while,
yeah.
just because it's not going to work. The math just doesn't work.
Doesn't
It's
work.
math.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right, so that's what's working.
There's other stuff. There's other stuff on
Okay.
that point. So let's be the consumer. So we've just moved to this new area. We go searching, right? There's two ways that they're going to be found. One is paid, like we just talked about.
Sure.
One is organic, and organic simply means not paid.
Right.
And organic is enhanced by search engine optimization, right?
Right, and the big thing on that, like if you look at, because I don't know, I'm just going to throw out a bit of an opinion if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because you see everybody jumping on the AI bandwagon, right? And including Wall Street.
Sure.
Just FOMO for AI.
Sure.
Obviously, it has a lot of utility and it does a lot of cool things. Like it helped me get a stain off my pavers in my driveway, some fertilizer stain. So that was good. No, it does other cool stuff too. I don't want to upset the AI for when it eventually takes over. But I've seen a few people come out and say, "Oh, AI's doing this, AI's doing that." Like, here's an AI receptionist, and I don't think we're quite there yet,
Not
right?
yet.
But it smells to me, to a degree, and looks to me like I lived through the whole .com blow up in 2000. Yes, I'm old, right? But I remember just the internet. The internet's the most amazing thing, and then it wasn't the most amazing thing anymore. When you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it has that same vibe going on right now.
Yeah.
Now, eventually something will come out of it, but yeah.
I think it's a great observation and a great warning. There's so many marketing companies coming out. We will do this. We got this set up.
Right,
and we'll have-
SEO doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that right there is a 100% false statement. Here's what's true: is AI is a changing landscape, and it is changing marketing. And I think some of the changes that are happening right now are interesting and somewhat exciting, a little bit scary. What we're going to see in a year and a half from now, I think it's going to be a completely different environment in some respects.
Okay.
But that's from my side of the desk.
Yeah,
right?
and I can leave that to the 2026 part when we get to that in the interview.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. But that's the business end of it.
Yeah.
The consumer end of it is not yet there. So
it.
the consumer is still using Google. Now, some consumers are using ChatGPT and Gemini and Grok for searching local business. Super rare. You know, ChatGPT just came out with Atlas, right, which is the new browser.
Okay, so that's their competitor to Chrome.
It's a competitor, and it's rough. It's very rough. It's cool what it can do. And in its earliest stages, it's better than what Google was in its earliest stages. So I think it's exciting. But I know as a consumer, I'm still going to go to Google for certain things. And I'm, pretty progressive digital marketing, specialist. So I think we have to continue to look at your practice from the eyes of a potential new patient. That person just landed in your town. They're looking for a new dentist. They're going to find you one of two ways: through Google Ads, through organic SEO. Listen, it might be nothing. Maybe they got a friend and a referral. We always love our referrals the most, right? But we're talking specifically about external marketing, not internal marketing, I think, at this podcast today. So
Yeah, well, just what's working, like what
Yeah.
you're seeing. So you're doing. I threw you off track there because
No,
you were
it's
getting into SEO a little bit.
Well, SEO still super important, still absolutely vital to do. Still, if you are paying some, I don't know, 200, 400, 800 a month to some marketing company for SEO, I can almost guarantee you that they're doing work month 1, month 2, and then they're doing nothing thereafter while
Right.
watching. And that's frustrating. But you got to pay some money to get quality SEO done. And it's painful in the interim time before you're reflecting, and you're really showing for your keywords and top positions. Could be 9 months, could be 12 months, could be 14 months. But still, 7 to 8 out of people are always going to scroll down past ads and look for an organic result.
Right.
That number is still, valid today. And 2 people are going to click on ads, and 2 out of 10 people is a lot of people. So ads really work. But invest in the SEO and know that in 8, 10, 12, 14 months, you're not going to be paying that painful click cost because it's going to be organic and you're going to be drawing into a big number of people. But then what then happens after that? So they found you on SEO, they found you on Google Ads, then they're going to go to your profile, and this point right here is what's grown the most. So you and I know it as public relations. It's not marketing, it's image, reputation management. There's a lot of different words for it. It's how do they perceive this practice that they've never walked into, they've never been serviced by, they've never had the touch of these beautiful staff that are caring and compassionate. They haven't had the graceful touch of the dentist and the care from the assistant. They haven't had that experience yet. That's all internal knowledge and known by the team and existing patients, but not new patients. Obviously referrals, they talk about that, so that's great. But the person who hasn't walked in that part, so you got to convey that in your Google Business profile. You got to convey that in your Facebook page because people are going to go snoop you. You got to convey that in your Instagram page. And yes, you and I looking at each other at the ripe age of 56 years old, I'm going to say you got to have that reflected in your TikTok channel too.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a TikTok channel. I mean, the company does, but I will never have one.
Let the
personally.
team do it. Let the team do it. But
Well, I'm going to do reaction videos. I'm going to do reaction videos to reaction videos. Anyway, no, sorry.
So that's reputation management, that's public relations, that's your image. And that means more today in 2025 than it ever has. And when you go to that Google Business Profile or that Facebook page or that Instagram page, but let's just leave it at Google Business Profile and Facebook. It can't just be posts about our specials. Come in for a whitening special, come in for a free cosmetic, analysis and consultation. It has to be a total picture of the team, your staff. Hey, congratulations for Alyssa for her work anniversary, 8 years here. Hey, our patient brought us these amazing chocolate chip cookies. Look at this before and after smile transformation of this person who just got a smile makeover. Look at the effects of before and after of this, Invisalign case or traditional ortho case. It's got to be all the checkpoints that we talk about, of course, in the new patient workshop. All the different things that we covered there. It's about 12 different points that have to be reflected in that Google Business Profile.
Which, as you mentioned, Dan is one of our primary lecturers at the New Patient Workshop. It's my shameless plug of the episode. If you want to find out more about the New Patient Workshop, we'll put a link to it on the episode webpage. Usually, I think the average increase we see is 40% in new patients.
That's right.
Pretty immediate.
Yeah.
So anyway, check it out if you want to find out more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
2 days, well-spent days of, learning this very succinct version of a lot of knowledge. But those 12 points have to be reflected in that Google Business Profile on that Facebook page. And it's not just the before and after photos. It's not just the staff culture. There are exact things that the potential new patient has to see. So they go, oh, yeah, this is the right place.
But it's interesting, and I agree with that 100%. I'm seeing, I've had more clients mention how many new patients they get from TikTok. Like tons.
Unreal.
It seems like, what is the, usually if you're a little older, you use Facebook. I don't really use any of them.
Yeah, but that's right.
I'm protesting social media. But then, you get the millennials tend to use Instagram, and the younger crowd uses TikTok.
That's right.
So it seems like the doctors who are willing to jump onto TikTok appeal to a whole humongous, I don't know how many TikTok users there are in the United States at this point.
Yeah, I don't know that number either. But, that said, Jeff, what's shocking is I just saw this testimonial of one of our clients. The testimonial was of a gentleman who's about 60 years old, more gray in his beard than I have. And he says, well, I went looking for dental implants and I found this practice. I saw their reviews. Reviews were amazing. Then I went to their Facebook page and then I went to their TikTok page.
Oh, wow.
And when I saw who they are and that they're having fun and that it's not this real serious place that's going to shame me into the ground for my poor dental hygiene habits and stuff like that, I decided I need to come in. And that was, in excess of a $50,000 case because it was a full mouth makeover.
I mean, not that it's neither here nor there. I'd be curious to see the TikTok demos. I know my mother has Instagram, and she probably has TikTok for all I know. I don't know. But
I still refuse. All my team are on it.
Do it. Yeah,
I just can't.
I'm not doing it.
But I can't.
I'm just a bad dancer. If I were a better dancer, I could go on TikTok.
Yeah, and the TikTok stuff, we give samples of that so people understand it's not just the dancing dentist. And I'll never tell somebody to get out there and start dancing. But there are fun things that your team will enjoy doing. You probably shouldn't be anywhere around because you're going to be in Cringeville.
Yeah.
But your team can do some fun things, and there's trends, especially for dental trends, that actually the teams love it.
Yeah.
It's a team building.
Well, it seems like that who usually manages it. I know the offices where it's happening, the doctor isn't managing the account. It's
That's
usually a younger staff member.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that reputation management, public relations, that public image that conveys everything that your existing patients know, that's super important.
Okay. So we've got SEO, PPC, the same stuff, the same usual suspects. What about funnels? Are those proving less effective, more effective in 25?
Massively important.
Okay.
So I know I didn't answer your question directly. Massively
No,
important.
you did. You did.
Yeah. They are more competitive, more expensive. You have to be more skilled in your funnels. You have to have the assets in place. If you don't have the assets in place for a funnel, then you are wasting.
But explain with the asset if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So I'm listening. What do you mean by asset?
Good. So let's go back to the beginning. Marketing funnel. It's a version of a paid ad campaign, just
Sure.
like Google, generally Google or Facebook, and it has some catchy ad that's asking, let's say, dental implant funnel, missing a tooth, and some ad that's really catchy, an image that's really catchy, person clicks on it, and it takes them through a questionnaire. And if they make it through that questionnaire to the end, that's a more viable lead. That's a more valuable potential new patient.
And these are the ones that are then forwarded to you, right?
And then those get forwarded to you. Now, not everybody's going to make it through the end, because somewhere along the lines it says, how important is this to you on a scale of 1 to 10 to address right now? If the person says 1, it's going to ask them some other questions, and it might still send the lead forward, but we know it's not as what we would consider a hot lead, right? But you're going to have more people go through it, less people who actually make it through it. And the people who make it through it are, wow, that's a very, very important person to contact right now. So the assets that need to be present, when they click on that, they're going to go to your landing page. And that landing page must hit them in the face with exactly what they're looking for right now. And that's typically a before and after image. They scroll down, there's another one. They scroll down, there's another one. Each of those are practice assets. And sometimes we run into practices that don't have those.
They never took before.
Never took those before and after, and they don't have HIPAA waivers in place, and so we get all that set up for them. So we might even use representative photos of that treatment to make certain that the doctor or practice says, yeah, of course I can get that result. And we put that down at the bottom. These are representative of the results we can get. But then down from that, a few testimonials, and down from that, real simple explanations of what is a dental implant and why a dental implant over a traditional bridge, or what a denture is, and really having the doctor talk about, this is what a denture is. And of course we offer these at our practice, but why would somebody consider a dental implant over a denture or a partial? And they would explain that in layman's terms. And the person not only gets educated, but they get to meet the doctor. And they go, wow, this doctor, he or she.
Is this like a video the doctor makes?
That's right.
I see. But then where do these funnels, like when they don't work? Because I know you can get people through the funnel. It seems, at least from what I've observed, where they tend to fall apart is on the follow-up.
That's right.
The practice gets the lead and the follow-up is just poor.
That's right. So today you have to be faster than ever, ideally within the first 5 minutes.
So when that funnel lead comes in, someone should call them within 5
Right
minutes.
then.
And then how many times should they call them until they reach them if they don't reach
3
them?
times that day,
Wow.
and 3 times the next day,
Wow.
and maybe 3 times the third day, and then maybe 2 times the following day.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Dr. Philman. He was saying they follow up 47 times
47
over the
times,
course
yeah.
of,
That's
I don't know,
right.
whatever period. They have a whole process, which is
That's right.
cool.
Part of which is automated, but part of which, as much as I love automation, when a practice has too much automation, then their hands are off, and they need to put their hands on, because this is not just expensive to run, but it's so important, because these people are in pain, either emotional, social, or physical pain, and they need help, and they're going to make a choice.
Right.
So you got to move on that, because they're going to choose someone, and if you're paying for it, and you've just kind of gotten all their interest up, and they're ready to go, and you're not chasing that thing up. Granted, there's nothing you can do if that comes through at 2 a.m. There's nothing you can do if that comes through on a Sunday. But that's got to be the first order of business for the person responsible for those, and that would be, in this case, a new patient coordinator, somebody who's either singly wearing that hat in the practice or is wearing that as an auxiliary position hat in the practice.
Okay, so that's what's working in 25. But basically, it's more expensive, so my fees have to reflect that.
Yep.
What's not working that maybe used to work in 25? Anything in particular? Or?
I would say I'm seeing, we don't do offline marketing. We don't do direct mail,
Like
and
postcards, newsletters,
and
things
such.
like
We highly endorse all marketing channels.
Sure.
But I've got one client that's doing TV, and it's decently successful. His budget on that TV campaign monthly is $50,000 a month.
5-0?
5-0.
Wow, okay.
And he's tapped into a very specific demographic and a specific time. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to a point where it's successful. That's singly the only example I know that is working with television. And very few of the clients I know can afford to get into that level of
Right.
marketing. Billboards, kind of a same thing. I definitely suggest it as a channel. I would say probably as from a marketing channel priority, seventh, eighth, or ninth in the order. Postcards, I still see that successful, but I see less so. But again, when they're poorly designed, like we cover again in the new patient workshop, when they're poorly designed, it's just wasted money. You might as well just put your money in a metal bin and light it on fire. And so sometimes people get this idea that postcards aren't working because postcards don't work in their area, and that's not true. They're just very poorly designed.
It's like a bad postcard, basically.
That's right.
Got it.
That's right.
All right. And what do you see changing, like as we walk into 26, 26, 27? What again, nobody has a crystal ball.
Correct.
But what changes do you see that you guys are trying to implement here over the next year or so?
Great question. And this one takes some work. So many marketing companies are using AI to write website content. So many people are using AI.
I mean, to write for their clients.
Yeah, for their clients. But even if you have a copywriter, I mean, this is an interesting paradigm.
Yeah.
If you got a copywriter who just does dental, how many different ways can he write about this practice and what a crown is before he's basically repeating himself?
Sure.
So why does that matter? Google and even AI right now, you can query AI right now and ask what is constituting your choice or your selection when you're advising about this practice. And AI, and we already know Google, ranks reviews at the top, any sort of social proof. So social proof is what other people say about the practice rather than what the practice says about the practice. Reviews, community awards, recognitions, acknowledgments from the community, best dental award. So it ranks those things towards the top. And then it ranks and goes into and looks for original, authentic, authoritative content.
Okay, so let's
Break
hammer
those
this
down.
down. Or we don't have to break it down fully, but we can go, okay, so I'm Google or I'm an AI. I'm looking, and when we say an AI, like Grok or ChatGPT.
Sure.
So someone asks for dentists near me or whatever. It's going to look for people who are highly well-reviewed, I would assume.
Sure.
Okay, not somebody who has a 1.4 star rating
Correct.
with 1,000 reviews.
Right.
Okay, it's going to look for that first, and then it's going to look at my website to see if it's original content and it's authoritative content. So how would it know if it's original content?
Because AI can detect AI.
Got it. So if AI wrote that content, AI is going to think, I don't like this so much.
I just can't believe the practice. Very specific in three different fields. So medical,
Yeah.
art, and science. If you're in those three fields, Google and AI really, really count on, let's just take the medical profession, specifically dentistry. They want to hear that the person who says that they are competent and they are great at their clinical dentistry, that they are in fact the person saying that, not AI saying that for the person,
I see.
because it's a false representation.
Oh, and that get dangerous too.
Very.
Yeah.
So they're actually protecting the consumer on that one. They're protecting the consumer to make sure that the consumer isn't, hoodwinked and tricked into thinking this practice is super competent when it isn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we put out a lot of written content. That's so at first when this all came out, I was an early adopter. Hey, what can this do? And I guess what I found was, and I'm not knocking AI for when it eventually takes over like Skynet. I love AI.
I love AI too.
Right there you go. AI is great.
My whole family loves AI.
Everybody, yeah, we all love AI. We all love AI.
We all love it.
But it was not great. Like the copy was not great. So any copy that I wrote, I had to write again.
Yeah.
It could kind of if I had maybe something I'd recorded, whether it was a video or a podcast, I could kind of maybe turn that into a blog post, but I still had to go in and edit it. And I've used AI detectors. If I use any AI in written content to detect if it can see, and if it gives me like, there's only an 8% chance or 8% of this was written by AI, then I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll deal with that. That's okay, right? But
Less important in the industry that you're in.
okay, not health, medical,
Very
et cetera,
important for
in
the
those.
dentist.
But I guess the main issue I have, because I've had people use it to send me things or whatever, is it's kind of not great. And I forget who I was listening to or watching, and they were talking about the garbification of work. The garbification of work. So you have an AI having someone use an AI to write a report, and it's just mid, it's not great, and then someone answers it with an AI response, and then the problem is that's what we're training the AI is being trained with this garbage from the AI. So it's just mediocre garbage.
Right.
So I'm not against using it. It's a tool like anything else, but I think people have gotten into this frame of mind that it's the thing as opposed to a tool to achieve the thing.
Yeah, we use it every day in Bloomberg Digital, all day long for analytics, for what was called agentic AI, so AI agents to do the work and the busy
Sure.
work, and so it's amazingly valuable for the writing of content. Again, when it comes to dental practice, it's so important that the doctor, him or herself, has representative data. So think about this. And what we do at Bloomberg Digital is we have the most searched for questions on Google. We have extracted those, the most searched for questions with regards to dentistry. And we send those questions out to our clients, and then the clients answer those questions either on an audio recording on their phone by going to voice memo, or they set up their phone and just do a quick video on those things. It took 5 minutes, 8 minutes, answer the most frequently asked questions that are searched for on Google. And then we take the video, we transcribe it, we upload that to the website, we code it so it can be easily read and detected by Google, AI, etc. And then we put the video. So now when somebody goes searching, they find, like, well, what is the difference between, a veneer and a crown, or, online unsupervised clear aligner therapy and traditional Invisalign? That's a really searched for phrase, believe it or not.
Really?
Even though Smile Direct got shut down. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my only response to that. Good. That's just. I mean, I had many clients. The Smile Direct patient came in. What am I supposed to do with this person? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then when the person finds that content and they click and they go to the page, what do you think? Do they read the transcription, or are they going to click on the video? What do you think?
I mean, I'm assuming video is going to be the most likely, but some people read, and it's good to have dual viewership or options. But what I like the most about what you're saying is the content is original from the doctor's mouth.
Right.
So it's not AI generated, so I can see where you're going. If Google or an AI looks at this, they're going to go, oh, this is original content from Dr. Smith.
That's right.
And therefore it has authority, it's original, and therefore it would rank.
And they get to meet. That's right. And they get to meet Dr. Smith and see her and how she handles things.
Right.
And, I get these doctors and they're like, yeah, but I sound ridiculous on video and I'm not comfortable and my hair's always wrong. And I just say, you know what? They're not there for that. And
Right.
if they are there for that, that's the wrong person. They're there to meet you. And it's the same you that walks into the operatory when you come to greet them. It's the same you that comes in the operatory when you treat them. So just be that person. And we coax them through that. And first few videos, they're generally a little nervous. By video 4, 5, 6, they're comfortable and they're just talking, and people love it. Their patients love it, and some of their patients actually walk in going, "Hi, Dr. Smith. I saw your video. I really like your stuff. Are you going to be the one treating me?" A little starstruck.
Right.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So in 26, if you're looking at what's changing, what are you like? Obviously, you guys have a large client base. What are you advising your clients to do?
More personalized content like that.
Okay.
Get in there. So let's say we take that 5 or 8 minute video on, what's the difference between a denture and an implant, or what are the pros and cons of this, whatever.
Sure. And I know you guys have a whole list of this stuff.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, literally 56 pages of questions. And
I'll have my AI read it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry.
So we take that and we just have them just riff on it. They just riff. They just, speak from their heart. Just answer the question. And it just comes out. It's amazing. But nobody's going to watch an 8-minute video on social media. So we take that and we and cut that up, little shorts for social media. Use the shorts for both YouTube shorts and for Facebook, TikTok, and for Instagram. And it just builds reputation. That's a big point. And then we really institute any sort of community stuff that they're doing. A lot of people do community work and they think, well, that's kind of like my own thing and it's kind of my private life or whatever. And no. This is the wrong time to be modest. This is the time to listen, have the purpose for what you do in the community and all the stuff that you do to contribute and give back. Be proud of that because you want to do it, not because you're doing it for public relations reasons, but certainly talk about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that's mainly where you guys are pushing. Is there anything you're telling your clients to avoid over the next year or so?
Okay, I got to think about that one.
Like, I'm sure you hear ideas all the time. Hey, should I do blah? Or that, I'm talking to these people and they're telling me they can do X, Y, and Z.
I think the only answer, as far as our strategies, not really, but what I would say is you got to be very, very cautious to the company that comes along. So marketing companies, the majority of them, survive by coming along, kicking, the existing marketing company to the client and saying, oh, we just found out that this website's flawed. We just found out this, that, and the other thing.
Sure.
And we can do this. And, what are you paying? Oh, my gosh, you got to be kidding me. And we can get you way better results for less than half of what you're paying.
Sure.
And then they get involved in that, and 6 months later, everything's crashed out. And now you've got to put Humpty Dumpty back together again, and that takes another 6 months. So you are 12 months without a marketing presence that's working. I would say be very cautious. Do your homework. Find companies that get results. The cheapest isn't the best generally. There is occasion where you can find something and it's a great price and it's a great score, but do your homework on the companies. I would say steer away from those companies. Say AI is going to do everything for you today.
Right. Yeah, they're not there yet.
They're not there, but boy, the marketing companies are saying that it's there.
Well, that's what actually, and this is why I want, I want to do, usually we do this closer to December is when we air, so we usually try to get a few weeks ahead, right? Sure. But, so usually we'd be having this convo later this month, right? Yeah. But what actually got me going, I want to get Dan on earlier, is I'm seeing a lot of that, like AI this, AI that, and SEO as it is gone, and blah blah blah. Right. I'm like, what do you think AI is going to use if it's going to upgrade SEO? Like one thing I did hear, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Google, the meta description for websites, which just for those of you listening, when you go into Google and you search for, I don't know, dentist near me or hardware store near me, it'll give you the name of the hardware store, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Dan, and it'll give you a brief description for each search result.
That's right.
Right? That's called a meta description, if I'm not wrong, right?
That's right.
Okay. Apparently Google's AI is going to rewrite meta descriptions within a year or something like this. And Google's AI is what, Gemini, right? Okay. So what they're going to use to rewrite it is your page content. So if your page content stinks or sucks, then you're going to have a terrible meta description.
That's right.
Because you usually have to write your own meta description, right? So just have good content, and your meta description is super descriptive, and it'll come up with this really beautiful description of your office.
That's right. Straight on. As long as it's original, authoritative, all those checklist points of SEO. So exactly as you say.
I guess, it's this just seems to be, it's like a brain disease, maybe the wrong way of saying it, that we all have, humans to a degree. Like if you go, how do you lose weight? Well, you do it like this, X, Y, Z, right? Obviously, some people have medical conditions with a thyroid that makes it more difficult or whatever. But the average person doesn't lose weight by doing these basic things. Eat less than you can, you burn. Simple stuff, right? Calorie reduction. And then I got this pill. It's going to make you lose weight. And you go, okay. And then, the pill causes all these problems. It's just this, people jump at this stuff.
At the next shiny thing.
Yeah.
And
I've been guilty of it before.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it's being marketed out there so hard. And another thing that I think they need to be aware of and steer clear of is those that are promising, listen, we'll do your marketing. If you don't get any patients, you don't pay.
How have those worked out? I've heard a few of those.
So here's how it works.
Okay.
Read the fine print.
So generally, give me the idea.
So you have to reach out to the lead within X many minutes. If you don't reach out to the lead within X many minutes, then you are in violation of the contract. And the contract requires you to pay. If you don't reach out to the lead this many times, and listen, I think they're based on best practices, but that might not be based on reality. Like, do you really have a team that can do that? You don't have, you might not be able to follow up 14 times. So if
I get a lead on a Sunday, I'm paying.
I'm telling you, you just got to read the fine print. Nobody can afford to do anything for free. So I love the confidence. You'll only pay if you get the result, but just read the contract. Really use AI to go.
That would be useful.
That would be useful.
That would actually be useful.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, if I guess the bottom line is, if what they're doing is working, I would tell anybody that if you have something good going,
Yeah.
I get that you can get kind of FOMO
Yeah.
about, but what about this? My friend's doing this and it's working great.
Yeah.
And then you ignore the fact that what you're doing is actually working. The virtue that it works is something in and of itself.
That's right.
And then drop what you're doing that's working and jump all over this new thing. You know, if you're going to implement those changes, like I love how you said it. Do it carefully.
That's right.
Really consider it.
And I think I did miss one thing, actually. One thing that people should be doing, which is new for 2025 and is probably one of the easiest fixes on marketing, is if you're not verified by Google, get Google verified and do local service ads.
I was going to Google Local, right?
Google Local.
Okay.
Google Local is going to put you at the top. You got to be doing Google ads. You got to put a budget towards it. But that gives you the green check mark. You do have to go through a bit of rigmarole to get verified. So that Google's going to verify. They're going to want your EIN. They want evidence. You might have to send your license in. Like, there are certain things that they're going to request, and it might take you a month. I think one of our clients, it took almost 5 months.
Oh, wow.
All the back and forth. There was something that Google picked up that they had to sort out as far as registration details and stuff like that. But worth the fight. Worth the fight, that one.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, is there anything else you would leave everybody with as they're making their marketing decisions, maybe for the rest of this year and the coming year?
Yeah. So this is what we tell all of our clients. Marketing with a marketing company. Most people use a marketing company for digital ads, at least. But any marketing endeavor, is that 80-20 rule pops its head up again. 80% should be being done by the marketing company. 20% is on the shoulders of the practice. If you're looking for the person who's going to do everything for you, they're going to do the post for you, they're going to take responsibility for everything. Well, you basically have a partner in the business, because they're going to have to be there. They're going to have to physically be there to get the before and after photos. They're going to have to physically be there to grab the culture content on your patients and on your team and such like that. So you can never be fully divorced from marketing, as much as I think a lot of us would like to just pay for somebody to do it. 80% of it. But 20% is going to fall back on you. And that would fall into the lead follow-up, the preparations, the assets like we talked about, etc. So just remember to understand what your 20% is in that relationship with the marketing company, and uphold your 20% while you also expect that they uphold their 80%.
Got it. Yeah. Awesome, Dan. I super appreciate you coming on. And if anybody has questions about this stuff, can they email? We'll put your email address on the episode webpage. It's dan@bloombergdigital.com.
That's right. BLUMBERG digital.com.
Okay.
Dan. Yeah.
Perfect. Dan, again, thanks so much for coming on.
pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, folks. Well, there you have it. I hope this helps, and we have that link to the new patient workshop as well as Dan's email address on the episode webpage. If you have any questions about MGE, you can find us online at mgeonline.com or call us at 800-640-1140. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the next episode.